Hey y'all, welcome back to A Moment with Miranda, where we take a few minutes to reflect, reset, and remind ourselves that we are enough. Today we're diving into something that is super heavy, but also extremely important. Divorce. It's one of the hardest things that I personally have ever been through, and if you've experienced it, you know how deeply it can shake you to your core. Divorce isn't just the loss of the relationship. It's the loss of the life that you thought you were going to have. And with that comes grief, confusion, and fear about what is even supposed to come next. For me, the moment that I knew that my relationship was truly over was after my husband left me for the third time. That's when it hit me. There was absolutely no fixing this. I couldn't stay in the cycle of toxicity and the screaming matches anymore. It wasn't healthy. It wasn't good. I knew I had to choose peace, not just for me, but for my children. That night, when he left, I made a vow to myself. I will never raise my voice again. And I will never, ever in a million years let anyone raise their voice to me, especially in front of my children. The next day, I found myself just sitting on the kitchen floor, crying, grieving, screaming. I was so scared. Not out loud, but internally. I wasn't just scared of being alone, I was scared of what was going to come next. The unknown is a very scary place. I was 27, a single mom with two kids, and I had no idea how I was going to rebuild our lives. The perfect little family that I had always envisioned, it was gone forever. I had felt like the floor was just completely ripped out from underneath me. And I kept asking myself, how did it come to this? How am I going to do this on my own? And what what is going to happen? It was all so overwhelming. And for a while, I sat in that fear. I sat in that grief. I just couldn't move forward. And that's okay. It is okay to grieve. But at some point, feelings aside, I had to make a choice. That's the thing about divorce. You have to choose your heart. Staying in a relationship that's breaking you, that's fucking hard. But leaving and starting over, rebuilding something that you don't know how to rebuild, that's hard too. The difference is one of those keeps you stuck and the other one helps you grow. I chose the hard that would help me grow. Even though that it felt absolutely impossible at first, I had to ask lots of questions that I hadn't even thought about in years or hadn't even thought to myself, who am I without this relationship? What kind of mom do I want to be? What do I enjoy doing? Do I have hobbies? What kind of life do I want to even build for myself and my kids? What does that even look like when you're a single mom on your own? And little by little, I started to figure out who I was. I focused on healing and growth. I leaned on friends who reminded me of how strong, beautiful, and brave I have always been. They helped keep me going. I would be lying if I said I absolutely did this alone because I didn't. And little by little, things began to shift. I remember one day after one of the toughest weeks of my life, or that's what it felt like in that moment. My daughter looked at me, grabbed my face, and said, "Mom, you're my superhero." And in that moment, everything changed. I realized maybe, just maybe, I'm enough after all. And that's what I want to tell you today. You're enough. Even on the days when you feel like you are barely holding it together, you are enough. Even when your life doesn't look like the one that you painted or planned or any of that, you are enough. And here's the thing, just because something ends doesn't mean it wasn't real. You can love somebody so unconditionally, but also know that they are not right for you and walk away. You can grieve what you lost while being excited about what is going to come next. Both things can be true. But the key to moving forward is choosing your heart and committing to your own healing. I'm going to tell you, you will want this to happen overnight, but it doesn't. It's going to be hard, and some days are going to be twice as hard as others. It is difficult, but every step forward, every inch you move, every time you make a better choice for yourself, no matter how small it is, it will bring you closer to that life that I promise you were meant to live. So if you're listening to this and you're in that place, whether it's in the middle of a messy divorce, trying to figure out how to move on, or just starting to rebuild, here's a few things to remember. You are allowed to leave something that isn't healthy, even if you still love parts of it. Not everything is black and white. Sometimes there can be good parts, but sometimes the bad outweighs it. You can choose your heart, and it will make you stronger, and it will piss you off. I promise. But choosing growth will always make you stronger. You are allowed to build a new version of your life that's just for you, no one else. And most importantly, their actions are not a reflection of your worth. If someone chose to leave you or hurt you, that's on them. That is not on you. Your healing is your responsibility, but so is your peace. And once you step into that space of peace, there's no turning back, babe. Divorce may feel like the end of something, but it's also the beginning of something brand new. A new chapter, a new life, and a new version of yourself that's going to be incredible. Just you wait. Thank you for spending this moment with me. Keep growing, keep healing, and keep choosing your heart. And as always, remember, you are always enough, babe. Always. Mwah.